No, this is not a tutorial. This is a look behind the scenes, I guess, a developer's commentary about the Secret World.
Are we echoing like crazy guys? Because I'm seeing a lot of that in the chat.
We're echoing.
Because I'm seeing a lot of that in the chat.
We're echoing.
How do we fix that?
We're just gonna have to echo is crazy. Alright. We're just gonna have to double talk. Echo is crazy.
I have a suggestion from our technical advisor, and he says push pause and then push play again.
We will pause and play again. 1 second. Mute the stream you're watching.
That's the problem right now. You're watching a stream at the same time as actually streaming. Us technical-minded developers and stuff.
Alright guys, so if this is better, we'll keep going.
Well
Thanks.
done.
This is our first Twitch TV live stream. It doesn't show, does it?
No, hopefully not.
Yeah, we suck at this.
This will sort the boys from the men. I'm drinking Pepsi, so I'm one of the boys. Let's just be clear.
Well, thank you. You guys rock too. What we'll be doing, we'll be accepting questions along the way, but the questions will be picked up by our community guys, and they're going to send them to us. So we're going to be, they're going to be choosing the questions they're going to ask us. We are going to provide some insight as we go into the development process, into the story, into the different aspects of the game. Think of this, like I said earlier, but I was probably echoing like crazy. So this is a sort of a developer's commentary of the game. We're going to go for 1 hour today, but we will be doing this again. We're going to bring in different peoples and to look at different parts of the game. So we're going to start playing a new character on Leviathan, is the dimension we're on. And we're going to pick a secret society. And what do you guys want to do today? Which one?
Say dragon. It's always good to kick things off with a blowjob.
Oh, thanks. At least we're rated for mature language, yeah.
Well, I suppose...
Blowjob's not a mature word.
I vote dragon as well, because that's the one I've played the least.
Right, I'm not going to offer my suggestion. I'm just going to click dragon since the majority speaks, and we're going to be playing the dragon today. Hopefully you guys can hear the sound okay as well from the game at this point. We're going to be talking over a lot of stuff, so we're going to completely ruin the experience if you haven't really played the dragon at this point. We're going to keep talking. We like to talk a lot.
We like to listen to ourselves, basically.
We like to listen to ourselves talk. So the reason we're going to talk is that we're going to basically provide some insight and information about the different parts of the Dragon startup experience today. So let's go ahead and choose the Dragon.
And while that's I'm Echo, the answer is the beer is right there.
Oh,
hold them up, boys.
Yeah, we have beer.
Beer.
It's Friday, it's past 5 o'clock, it's acceptable.
And I can't drink because I'm a responsible adult and I'm driving a car and I don't want to get wife aggro when I get home. So...
Well, first of all, I'm extremely excited to watch Ragnar create the character.
To see how what my taste like.
Yes.
Well, I usually play female characters.
I know you
surprise,
do.
Surprise. So maybe we'll go male today. No, let's go female. And of course, you guys, I'm guessing that most of you guys watching this, listening to this, have already used the character creation in the Secret World, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this. I can say though that we are adding to character customization very soon. Issue number 2 of the Secret World is going to contain upgrades to our character creation. Now the pizza is here actually, so I'm going to let Joel and Doug create the character while I make sure the pizza is received.
Wow.
Doug can make a character.
Very well.
I'll answer some questions.
Very well dodged, Ragnar. I was really looking forward to seeing him create a character, and now I have to do it instead.
It would have been, some sort of awfully untrendy character.
All right.
It's Ragnar after all.
It is.
And I have a question from Nate GL. Why are you patching running maintenance during Australian prime time? The answer is that straight after launch, we've been quite quick on our feet with getting patches out there as quickly as possible. And we're trying to affect the least amount of our audience as possible, which means that we're hitting times that might not be ideal for everyone. That's also a side effect of having the one server tech and the fact that everybody is playing on one big sort of world server. So it's a bit difficult to pick times that aren't in somebody's prime time. But it will get better as we move to a more weekly maintenance schedule, and we'll try to time it a little better for everybody. So right now we're just, it's always... quite chaotic after a launch and trying to make sure things get patched as quickly as possible. So we will improve the maintenance schedule as best we can going forward and try to make it fair for everybody.
Alright, so I'm just doing some tweaking here, trying to make sure if these guys approve of
much like you do every morning, putting on your face.
Yeah, I spend about an hour in front of the mirror every day. It's no shame in that.
Is she bringing sexy back?
She's gonna bring sexy back.
I like it.
I like it.
So let's pick some tops here. I'm not gonna go with the bra today.
It's a bikini, it's not
Let's
a bra.
drop the coat as well. It's usually a good idea to actually pick a coat in character creation because you can take it off in the dressing room and
then you have it.
And then you get a free. Yeah, there's a free tip for everybody. If you don't fill up all your slots in character creation, you won't get those items. So you may as well take them, even if you don't care.
All right, so no coat.
A free tip from Dole.
Free tip.
Free tip, and let's pick some jeans here.
It's dragon, so I can't say fun fact.
No, you can't.
Fun fact.
Fun fact.
And some red sneakers. Looks about okay, doesn't it?
People who are asking about the chat, I noticed in the chat channel here, the chat in TSW has been fixed. As far as we know, that we patched out a fix last night for everything to do with the chat servers, so the chat should be working just fine for everybody. Please report on the forums if it's not.
All right.
Oh, that's cute, isn't it?
Now we're gonna need to find a acceptable nickname, and of course, since the nicknames are global across all dimensions. Oh, we actually have a pizza delivery.
Thank you, Rocket.
I don't think we actually need 3 big pizzas though, so you might want to give them to the rest of the team. All right.
I think he's serious, yeah.
Yeah, he's serious.
We can
leave one with pepperoni here, and
we'll take the top one, and then we can take the rest and give it to the team.
All right.
Thank you. We like to be kind to the team. They get to drink beer and eat pizza as well.
On a Friday.
Wow.
Let's call our character April Ryan 1999. It's not super original, but it's not valid.
I actually worked on the name filters. I don't think you can call it April Ryan.
We can't.
No.
It's actually an illegal name. That might be possible. So let's call it something else.
While you guys are sorting out the names, I have a question. It would be nice to see some long hair in the upgrades, like shoulder length to lower back. Blah blah blah.
Nice.
Will there be work on implementing that? Yes, it's set for something that we're going to look into in the future. It's not technically that simple for us because of the way our hairs work in the game. So we have I've seen it on the list of improvements for the future, so we are looking at it, but it's not going to happen in the immediate future, as in like the next month or so.
I also received messages to avoid making eating noises while we're doing this, so we'll try our darndest to avoid making eating noises.
Where's the pizza on the
We
stream?
can't promise anything though. It's pepperoni. Alright, so we're watching the origin story at this point.
The new origin story.
The origin story that we didn't actually show anybody until a week before launch, and the reason we did that is that we wanted to keep key points of the story as secrets. We don't like revealing too much. Revealing too much is dull. And originally the plan was actually to not show this at all until launch day, but we wanted to make sure that our closed beta tester got a little bit of a sneak peek at the story. So we added a whole section that was always planned for, where the player is basically inside a dream. And this is pivotal to the story of the game. I haven't seen a lot of people discussing this yet. I think everybody's busy playing the missions in Solomon Island in Egypt at this point, and they're not commenting too much on the general sort of story mission, the bigger storyline. But this is a pivotal moment in the story, where the player is basically confronted with these characters, and I'm not going to say anything about who they are because that would spoil things that are coming up.
Just call them Greg and Anne.
Or we can just call them by their real names, Katie and Mark.
Katie and Mark, yeah. I mean, we have some fantastic voice actors in the Secret World, and we've spent a lot of time, casting this game and making sure that we get the right actors for all its roles. And I mean, it's been situations where we actually gone back and re-recorded characters. I think the character who's received the most re-recordings is Dragon.
Probably, yes.
We've been through 3 actors, I think, in order to get the voice right. Yeah, and it's such an important thing for us in this game to really pay attention to the storyline, the characters, and the dialogue, and we're willing to go a long way to do that. So
it's fair to say we rewrote that a couple times as well. Not only re-recorded, but we had trouble finding the exact voice and purpose of that character, and so we had to go through a couple of rewrites for that.
But with Katie Lyons and Mark Frost in this opening sequence, they nailed it on the first time. And the fantastic actors that have done a lot of really good stuff in the game for us.
They have.
So again, the origin story. The origin story is the first cinematic we made for the game, and it's gone through a bunch of revisions. But it's always been sort of the core idea that the player lives a normal life and is granted this power by some unknown entity. And again, it's a key part of the story. To why is the player getting these powers and from whom, and why is it a bee? Some of these things are explored and explained in the current version of the game, but a lot of this will remain a secret until later.
Yes.
Everyone's eating, so
Everyone's eating.
I have another question, and that is, would you ever consider characters that are not human at some point in the future? That was from Lady Aju.
But we already do.
I think we're talking
Player
about
characters.
player characters.
Oh, player characters.
It's a good question. I mean, it's really an important part of the story that the player characters are human.
Bestiary.
We're not talking about the bestiary today, Joe.
Okay.
There is no bestiary.
No,
is
there's no such thing.
bestiary, no.
Forget about the bestiary.
So I mean, it's a pivotal point in the story too that the player is human. It's humans being called into action to defend Gaia against this dark threat.
But we have discussed it.
We have discussed this, and there are possibilities of doing it with the character basically being able to take on powers of non-human creatures, and we're not talking about the bestiary. We can talk about the monks instead. So I love the dragon startup experience, so the sort of origin story, because it's because of this part right here. This is the dragon in a nutshell, or the dragon in a fortune cookie. I don't know. Basically, just deciding to come and pick up the player. I mean, the origin story shows how the different secret societies operate. The Templars are asking nicely, the Illuminati are basically giving you a challenge, and the dragon, they just take you.
And it was important for us that there's a good variety in how they do this and how they operate, so that everybody can find a secret society that they feel they can belong to and share ideals with. I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting when we get feedback that, like, I really hate the dragon startup. Well, that's kind of the point. If you love the Templar one, then that means that they're your society. It's definitely designed in a way to make sure that players have, a serious feeling of belonging to the faction that they pick.
I love the logo here as well.
Little butterfly.
Yep, attention to detail.
And the wall.
And this is the important part too. While London is such a sort of vibrant and open hub, I mean, in London you are in the secret world part of London, but it feels very open and open to sort of the world outside. The Soul one is basically a closed area. There is no way out. Everybody's in here is trapped in some way, trapped by.
Unless they have the powers of the players, where they can travel
exactly.
through Agartha.
And most don't. So the people in here live in this sort of sheltered and strange place. All right.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Yep. Let's see. Updated character creation. Will it add more skin color and more variation? I think Ragnar has the answers to that.
Well, the first thing we're going to do is release the modern Prometheus and the Occam's Razor in New York and London. And we're going to give all players a free coupon, basically, to go and alter their look and their hairstyle. Yes, when you choose a head, and there will be more head choices than before, you will be able to also then choose a different skin color. Whether or not we're going to expand skin color on existing heads is something I can't really answer right now. That's up to the guys working on this feature. But there will definitely be a lot more options. All right, so we're going to start playing as the dragon here.
Yeah. So I remember when this started off with a creepy little kid in a raincoat.
That's right. When we showed this at GDC earlier this year, we had the player following a creepy kid in a yellow raincoat. And there was a good reason for it. It was an integral part of the story, but I think we decided that it didn't work as well as we wanted it to. And we also wanted it to tie a little bit more into sort of the butterfly effect, the idea of the chaos theory.
I would say that the dragon is the secret society that's changed the most during production. That we've had to update that experience along with how we were thinking for the society and how they would evolve And we came up with this with all the models and the mathematics and the chaos theory and the butterfly effect and all that, and then we needed to merge that into the entire experience a little bit better than we were before, I suppose.
The Dragon is definitely the most challenging Secret Society,
Definitely.
both from a development point of view, but also from a player point of view. It's the hardest to sort of box into a, to define.
They don't give you much for free.
The Templars are sort of the crusaders against darkness. They're the army of light against the dark forces, and it's easy to understand them. The same with the Illuminati. They are, a bunch of, I'm not going to say it. They pull strings behind the scenes. They manipulate people. They're power hungry. The Dragon is just different, but there is a very clear story to it. We know the Dragon. We know where it's going, but I can understand that some players might feel it's too confusing. It's a bit too challenging, and that's also, I guess, why right now the Dragon may be underrepresented on some dimensions. But I think I find the Dragon really intriguing. I don't have a favorite Secret Society, of course, but I find the Dragon to be intriguing.
Let's run along a little before April gets bored here.
Ryan April.
Ryan April.
Ryan April is my name now. All right. So going off in the wrong direction here. It has an interesting effect. So obviously you're being led somewhere. You're not sort of quite in reality at this point. You're in sort of a side alley to reality, starting the Dragon new player experience. So let's follow these butterflies. These butterflies actually came in very late as well in the production process, only a couple of weeks before launch. And again, I mean, we keep tweaking and we keep changing the game all the time. Even now we do that. Again, I love the attention to detail here. We have the Morning Light posters in
Translated
Korean.
in Korean.
Morning Light is also something I haven't seen people discuss too much, and I'm not going to say.
No, we
much
shouldn't.
about
We
that.
shouldn't.
I saw a comment from a player actually about this area, and they were saying that too many of the signs are in Japanese. But I hope they understand that like Yoroshi, as a corporation, exists in Seoul as well. They're like a big Japanese company that have spread out across the world. It's not that we actually mistook this area for being Japanese. We have actual artists who've been to Seoul and who have worked on this stuff, so they know what it looks like there, and we have very good reference photographs from down there. But we have Orochi and Morning Light stuff here just because it's they're multinational stuff. And that was really good. I stuttered about 50 times.
I know.
I need to drink more beer. Jeez. I also have a question that I've seen a million times in the chat. Why the lack of dressing gowns and towel-based clothing? Well, we started to put in, it's quite interesting, we started to put in a bunch of towel-based clothing, and it actually mutated into some sort of raid boss that attempted to kill everybody on the development team, and so we removed it from the game for now. We feel that Terry toweling the raid boss will make a good raid boss in the future. So, no, towel-based clothing, and dressing gowns, yeah, we didn't want the characters to be able to look like developers, and so we removed it for the most part. More to come.
More to come. And guys, if you want to ask questions on Twitter as well, you can do that. You can direct questions to me. My username on Twitter is Ragnar Tornquist. So feel free. I'm monitoring Twitter right now. Yeah, this scene, actor.
This is a very cool actor that some people might recognize from the fabulous TV show Dexter. C.S. Lee.
C.S. Lee?
He plays Vince Masuka.
Vince Masuka, yeah. So we're big fans of that character, and we try to bring in actors. We're a bit sort of self-absorbed in that way. We like to bring in actors that we like. Jeffrey Combs, for example, is a great example of that. We're huge fans of Jeffrey Combs, and to be able to bring him in and work with him, and
it's amazing just to meet the guy.
Yeah, just hang out.
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, that was awesome. So C.S. Lee is another guy that we said, yep, we definitely want him in the game, and he plays a couple of roles. He plays the professor here, and he also plays the Pyramidian.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think he did a fantastic job. I mean, this stuff is pretty challenging. What C.S. Lee is doing here. I mean, he's trying to sort of communicate the whole philosophy of the Dragon. It gets wordy, but to me it's really interesting sequence that again illustrates how the Dragon is both chaotic and very sort of scientific in their methods.
Yes, and how they sort of try to explain how coincidences are not. How everything has a purpose if you just look closely enough at the weird mathematics behind everything in the world. It all connects.
Yeah. So Arjo asks if we will be at Gamescom in Cologne or in Köln in August. I think it's safe to say that we will be showing some cool stuff. Exactly what we're not going to reveal now, of course. How did we convince EA to include a full color manual in the box? How did we convince EA to do that?
We have magical guys in our marketing.
I haven't actually looked at the manual. I never read manuals, so I haven't even opened the manual. I didn't know it wasn't color.
I haven't opened my box yet. I want to keep it in the plastic in my.
You want to keep it pristine?
Yeah, on my shelf.
Who else does this now? Like, you guys are gonna be like, "What the hell, Joel?" But like, who else buys a new game, takes it home, installs it, and reads the manual the first time they go to the bathroom after they get a new game? Who else does that? Come on.
That's only you, Joel. That's only you, Joel.
Oh, I do it all the time. Absolutely. Yeah,
we should be talking about the stuff on screen.
We should
support. I'm getting support in the chat.
Well,
Yay!
That's because they're anonymous. I mean, at this point, nobody knows who they are. You just went on a live stream and said that you read the manuals on the shitter. Good job, Joel.
What I do?
You're Australian. You're just sort of expected.
so I suppose this scene is
it's
drawing to an end.
Of course, we can't hear the sound of the scene as we're playing, but we pretty much know what he says. Again, working with CSD was really good. He did like so much dialogue in a 4-hour session that I think we completely destroyed the guy. And I know what he says now. Sooner or later, everybody goes upstairs.
You have the anecdote about when you were trying to get him to read the internet memes. And then he kept correcting your grammar.
It turns out that C.S. Lee doesn't really know the internet, and he's never really been on the internet. So he's a great actor. I don't think he spends a lot of time on the internet, so he had no idea that when he plays the Pyramidian about all the memes that we were.
All your base are belong to us. He kept correcting the grammar.
Strangely, that worked incredibly well because then it gets that undetached, weird delivery of those lines, so that it's not. So it doesn't sound like he's making funny. I suppose.
No, exactly. I got another question here too. It says, was it hard writing dialogue and setups from mute characters from William Miller, who also always reads the manual apparently.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe it's just me. Was it hard writing dialogue and setups from mute characters? Well, it's not really hard to write dialogue from mute characters. That's really easy.
Yeah, let's be honest.
But is it a challenge to have the player be mute? Yeah, really, really difficult because it's a lot easier to write a dialogue between characters than to write monologues. So every time we have the player character talking to a single NPC, it's very, very hard, and it's really hard for both the join group with Sony Chu. Yeah, why not?
Why not?
It's really hard to sort of make that interesting, and I think that sort of relies a lot on the actor being excellent at what they do. Monologues are so much harder. We've had actors say that too, like tell us that this is really hard. But we did this for a very specific reason.
And we debated it a long time whether we wanted to do this or whether we wanted to give the player a voice.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I mean, I think we definitely made the right choice in making the player sort of a silent observer for a couple of reasons. Number one, as a player myself, I don't like for my character to have a voice that doesn't sound to me like what I would sound like. I mean, this is me in the game, but in a female body
with boobs.
Yeah, with boobs, which is pretty much what I see myself as every day, to be honest. But at the same time, sort of like it's also difficult to get an idea of what you would say in the game. It's not just the sound of your voice, but it's the choices you make in terms of what you say. And the only other option then would be to provide options every time your character speaks.
Yes, and it's not negligible the amount of effort we would have to do it right. I think if we were going to do that, and we are discussing whether we want to do that at a later stage as well, but if we were going to do that, I personally would want to do it right, which means you would get viable difference in the options. It wouldn't be just cosmetic.
No, exactly.
It would be something that had a substance, and then that makes it infinitely harder.
And the last reason, and which is a very, very important reason for us, is that the player has just entered this world. I mean, whatever the player has to say at this point, it's really not that interesting. All the player can do is say, huh, what? I mean, you're basically playing yourself 5 minutes into the experience of learning their secret society is ruling the world and magic is real. I mean, it's, again, the player's going through a learning experience where listening is probably better than talking. So there's that reason as well. Everything that happens in the game at this point, the player is better off not saying much. Will it change? Will we add player voice at some later point? We're actually definitely going to be debating it again, I think, as we go forward into the next major sort of act of the story, and we'll look at what we can do. I'm not saying we're going to add player voice, but we might do something else to surprise people, to make it a little bit more interesting.
Or we might add the player voice, but we don't know.
We don't know. Well, we know, but we're not telling. Well, we don't actually know.
No, we don't.
But we're debating it. All right, so let's go upstairs.
Yes, let's go upstairs.
Okay. Let's answer some questions.
While we go upstairs?
While we go upstairs or before we go upstairs?
Nail off as many as I can really quickly. Crazy Carl 79. Today is Friday the 13th. Are you planning on events happening on special dates or occasions? The answer is yes. Keep an eye on Halloween.
Did you just reveal and spoil Halloween, Joel?
No, you did.
I think you already did.
I did?
In your update speech. So
update.
don't go blaming Joel this time, baby.
I'm mostly drunk when I write those, so it's fair enough.
Random Range Cat, will you be adding interactive chairs and benches anytime soon? That is part of the plan, and we will be adding them shortly. I won't put a time on it because soon TM is a Funcom trademark.
Yes.
And finally, people are going through the deck very fast. Are we going to get new decks? Some people are going through the deck very fast. It ain't that many people who are going through that quickly, but we will be adding new weapons. Again, soon TM.
And I suppose with new weapons we might also include new decks.
Yes, of course.
One thing that people have been asking for, players have been asking for, is starter decks. Because the decks we have now take time.
That's true.
There are sort of hidden decks for the starter weapons. You get a clothing outfit when you fill out like each weapon at the sort of the inner wheel, but starter decks, yes. I missed that myself actually, to have a goal. So I actually put that on a list today. I put a lot of stuff on lists. And starter decks is something we're definitely going to add. Of course, I haven't talked to the team about this, so they're probably listening to this now going like, what the fuck? But
the language. We're live.
But I warned them beforehand.
That's true.
Yeah. So yes, it's definitely something we want to do. I think players enjoy the decks, and the decks are really important in getting a good direction for a lot of players. But the most fun is had with experimenting. And on that note,
we're going upstairs. Or into the room.
Experimentation.
Yeah, experimentation.
Now, I mean, this following sequence is it's also another cinematic that we debated quite a lot. I mean, we're controversial. We're not going for cheap thrills in the Secret World. We take everything seriously. We're not just doing stuff because we find it amusing or like to shock people.
Amusing anecdote. He used to be naked. Now, continue. Yeah, I've seen the concept of him with no pants on.
Yeah, pants?
Well, maybe in a concept. We never had it. Yeah, he was always supposed to have pants.
Yeah, he was always supposed to have tidy whities. Still. Yeah. The concept is awkward.
This is awkward now.
Yeah, this is awkward now.
There's been some controversy about this scene, but it is integral to the story. By the way, the actor here,
Tara Strong. Fantastic actress. She also plays the character of Anne Radcliffe, yes.
On the bridge to one of the Orochi. That's a fantastic role.
That's a great role. And she is also currently doing
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony, yes.
Awesome show.
For anyone who might want to check her out.
I watched that. Not ashamed to say it.
You're not ashamed to say it. That's good.
Anything else?
That was really awkward. Anything else you want to say about My Little Pony?
Well, let's save that for next time.
Let's save that for next time.
Yeah.
A question from Josh Miller. Why no dual wielding swords?
Well, we're looking at this sequence now. Come on,
I'm not going to answer questions.
Respect this team. But I mean, every Secret Society has a different way of sending players to the Tokyo flashback sequence.
And again, important that they are different enough and also adhere to the philosophy of the society and their mythology and history. So, did I just interrupt something important?
No. I'm just saying, like, in response to that, so oral sex is part of the dragon tradition.
I don't think it's necessarily the part of it being oral sex. It's that moment of clarity.
It's that moment of, moment of clarity.
Of absolute truth.
We're not saying you're getting oral sex here. We're saying there might be tying shoelaces or getting a nice, like, foot massage.
You might be.
Yeah.
But you're brought to a point of absolute clarity, and that's the
You're
that's-
receptive,
yes,
and that's really important, and that's something we want to emphasize here.
where you let everything go and you are able to receive truth.
Yeah. So that's part of the dragon experience as well, to be able to be receptive to the truth and to visions and to ideas, basically.
And to also let yourself go and all your premonitions and well, you're just smiling now, but
No, I'm
it's
smiling because when we showed this the first time at GDC earlier this year, it was fun to like watch the crowd, how the different reactions are. Like you know, sex in a video game, sex in a game is something that is not often explored, and it's for a lot of people it's probably sort of an uncomfortable subject. But we like to explore uncomfortable subjects.
That wasn't just a foot rub.
Well, it is if you want it to be.
Yeah, exactly. It could be whatever you want it to be, Joel.
Whatever gets you to the flashback, baby.
Exactly. So this sequence is actually interesting. In the beginning, a lot of our beta testers, this was back when we only had like you know, a very limited beta. Were very confused by this sequence to find themselves sort of waking up as another character. So we revised this cinematic here a lot of times in order to clarify what's happening. The player is sent back in time, but you know, not as you know, as yourself, but stepping into the body of another character called Sarah. And who is Sarah? And who are these guys? Well, you might recognize these three characters from the CG videos that we've been releasing over the years.
So this is Mei Ling.
This is Mei Ling, played by... Who's she played by?
That would be Laura Aikman.
Laura Aikman, yeah. Another fantastic actor. And then this is Alex.
Mark Keeley, I think.
Mark Keeley. And last we have Rose.
Catherine Tabor. One of my personal favorites.
Catherine Tabor, and what else has she done? She's done some good stuff. She's
Cassandra King.
Yeah.
She is Saccharissa.
Saccharissa as well, yeah.
Which are both awesome.
And Catherine Tabor is also a very talented actress. Done a ton of stuff.
And also Karen Olsen, I think.
She did Karen Olsen, yeah. That is one of my favorite characters, definitely.
Fast-speaking member of Homeland Security, yes.
All these guys have done a ton of roles for us because we love them. And that's why we also gave them these pivotal roles of these characters from the CG movies.
And these characters will be important again.
They're going to be important. You're gonna meet them very soon, actually. And in a couple of months, there's going to be some new stuff with these characters dropping in to say hello. And maybe goodbye.
Maybe goodbye. Possibly.
So what we're playing right now, we're playing Sarah, who's sort of a member of this crew, this gang, and something's going to happen to her. Let's go and pick up this mission. And
pick up the shotgun, yeah. And maybe we have, while doing this, we could probably take some questions, because I
have a bunch of questions here as well.
Let's do one first.
Yeah, let Joel go first.
Let me go into my role as lead content designer, for goodness sake. Any ETA on fixing bug quests? Yes. We have fixed a bunch of them already. We keep fixing them as we see them, as we hear about them. Some of the problems we've had with the quests has to do with scripts that are causing trigger errors on the server side. And those were things we just haven't been able to see without having hundreds of people spamming them. Even in the open betas, we didn't see some of these bugs that we're seeing now. And it really has to do with the way that scripts are communicating with the server. We have put in fixes for most of them. You'll notice that things like Men in Black Vans and Something Wicked are fixed already. We're working on all the ones that we hear about as soon as we can. But of course, we don't want to bring down the game every day for maintenance, so you'll see the fixes coming out as quickly as we can possibly get them to you guys.
It's gone viral so fast.
That was, yeah. Now you can answer real legitimate questions that aren't about bugs.
Whatever it takes.
That was a good question. Where can digital purchasers get a game manual? That sounds like a really good question.
We have a task. I know Scott is working. Scott, our producer in Montreal, is going to be putting it as soon as he can on your account page. So you'll be able to log into your account page and download a copy of the digital manual.
It's going to be a PDF.
It may be up already, but if it's not up already, it will be soon.
So we'll make it happen, guys. Will there be any novels based off the lore and setting of the Secret World?
Sounds too loud, Ragnar.
Oh, it sounds too loud? Okay, that's not a surprise.
Not really, no. There you go.
Alright, how's that? Is that better?
Is that better, guys? We just turned the sound down. Is it better? Okay. Say thank you.
Alright.
Well, they're not fighting now, so obviously.
Novel. We're definitely gonna. I don't know if everybody's seen the announcement today about the issues we're doing. We're doing basically a content drop every month, and that's presented in the form of a comic book, basically. The first issue is a cover. Not gonna say anything or promise anything, but look out for ways we're gonna expand on that and play on that. So not maybe necessarily a novel, but maybe something else. I would personally love to write a novel in this universe. I don't have time right now. Maybe you have time, Dag.
Not at the moment.
But it's something we'll definitely explore going forward. There's such a rich backstory here that we'd love to fill it out somehow.
Casper wanted to write a Sam Krieg novel.
Hey, okay, maybe Casper should write a Sam Krieg novel.
Sam Krieg wrote the Sam Krieg novels.
That's true.
That's true.
Everything is true.
Everything is true.
I saw one question here that was I wanted to answer. I think it was a question about whether I wrote all the dialogue in the game. Yes, I did. All the dialogue.
All of it.
Yeah, that's the other writers are just there for window dressing because they're really
No,
good looking.
They name items mostly.
Mostly we name items, and also we sometimes we're let loose on the mission journal, but that's only in when Ragnar really doesn't have time.
This is of course not true at all, and no, I write only a small part of the dialogue. I tend to look at all the dialogue and I direct all the dialogue.
So basically, how it works is we're a team of several writers. We task out the different dialogues with links to the quest or mission designs. We have a paragraph of direction from Ragnar if we're lucky. We write the dialogue, it goes to me. I'm the lead writer, so I look at it all and I try to come up with some good comments on it before we send it to the final stage where Ragnar looks at it, and if he really doesn't like it, then we rewrite it with his comments,
Or I do a
or
rewrite.
he just does a rewrite himself sometimes. And then we do another pass again just before we go in the studio, because then we have...
Just before we go into the
Well,
studio.
pretty much just before we go in the studio, yes.
Our actors rarely get a final script until they're in the booth, and so it's the best thing. But we like to rewrite, and it's not actors are used to it, to getting like last minute notes.
And also sometimes there are last minute changes to actors we might want to adjust because the voice doesn't fit that well with...
And I'm reminded of actually one of the best sessions we had, Andy Gardner, Deputy Andy, at the very beginning. We had a script that we delivered and started recording, which was, to be absolutely honest, very boring. And me...
You wanted to say shit.
I wanted to say shit, but it's not shit. It was just a bit boring.
Yeah.
And me, Dag here, and Ben, one of our talented writers, were basically, sitting around the phone and listening to this, and we're like, this is not great.
Yeah, so we were just basically rewriting it on the fly and came up with some...
We basically told the actor and the engineer to hold on for 5 minutes or 10 minutes while we churned out a new version of the script, and that turned into one of like my favorite characters in the game right now.
And I think the favorite cutscene, my favorite cutscene with him, is not in the game yet. So there's something.
That's right.
So there's something.
You're spoiling future content.
I am. So
Dag.
there's something to look forward to there.
Yeah.
I like spoiling a little bit. I mean, I think whoever's watching us now should get a little nugget here and there.
Yeah, because it's gonna stay amongst this small circle of friends, right? It's not gonna leak out.
It's not a huge spoiler.
It's not already on every news site everywhere that Andy's coming back.
Come on.
we like revealing things. I'm dying, except of course dying in here is actually kind of hard. I'm actually not even playing really well at this point.
No, you're not.
No.
You also.
Oh, so you're saying that you play really well normally?
No, I've freely admitted that I'm quite shit at things, but I wasn't really paying attention. So, Tokyo flashback. Do you want to answer more questions first?
Sure. A couple.
We can do a couple of questions.
Okay, so we had one from Gart, the poet, Gate Poet, which is
Street poet.
Street poet.
Gate poet.
I know, but I was just writing what he wrote. Of course, it's Gart, the poet. But yes, when will there be more ARGs? Huh? In the future.
I think we moved past the RGs in some way into investigations.
Yeah, in the game. If you don't mean in the game, if you mean like ARGs outside of the game, then not soon.
And also
in game, absolutely. The investigations
our
are
investigations,
the ARG component of the game.
And also to the very observant players, there are nods to the very first ARGs inside the game. I'm not gonna tell anyone where they are or who's.
He just left.
He's just gonna
just
refill.
Run off to get more beer.
He went to the well.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So where were I? ARGs, yes. Yes. So yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna be doing the same type of ARGs that we were doing pre-launch.
Like, look for you'll see the type of investigation stuff we're doing going forward when you see the first issue coming out on the 31st. But in addition to that, we are looking into. I know I talked about puzzle raids a long time ago, and we're still working on having these large scale puzzles for people to solve in the future. So there'll be lots of stuff, but it'll be more in game, taking you outside of the game from inside the game, as opposed to like starting outside the game like the ARGs.
Do you guys just want to send them the whole production plan for the next 6 months at this point?
Sounds good to me. And then there's another question. What is to come of the original SOS tokens? All I will say about that is do not throw them out.
Do not
They
throw
will
them
never
out.
use.
Yep. You might have to wait a tiny little bit, but do not throw them out.
Yes.
Let's see. What is the most important thing you personally, I guess, want to further develop at this time? From Fox Echo. I don't know. For me,
that's you personally. So.
Well, yeah, I'm throwing the question to you guys as well. But to me, it's sort of like just to keep building on this world. There's not one thing. Like with our monthly issues that we're doing, we are adding lots of stuff in lots of different areas with each issue, and I want to make sure the game grows in directions that meet expectations of as many players as possible. So not just missions, or not just character customization, and not just sort of improved marketplace features, and not just improved social features, but a good mix of things.
And for me also, there's a lot of puzzle pieces that are not in the game yet that are planned.
The infamous puzzle pieces of the story,
yes.
right?
And yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting all those pieces in place and having people starting to explore the vast backstory and the vast universe that we've created.
Yeah. Oops, there we have
The Filthy Mass.
Filthy Mass. So let's make sure we play this guy a little bit better than I played the previous ones. Let's build some resources and let's unleash the finisher.
Yeah.
I mean, the key to combat, just to say a few words about combat while we're actually in this, in the Secret World, is to keep moving. I mean, I do play a lot on live, and I see people playing the combat, and I think the people who might feel that combat is very reminiscent of WoW or Rift or any sort of or the Old Republic games that have sort of a more traditional combat model. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I mean, our combat model differs in that we do expect players to move, and it really does help.
I've seen a few comments about like, why should I bother to move? It doesn't do anything in combat. That's absolutely and utterly incorrect. You have a 33% increase in time to live if you continue moving during combat. A 33% increase.
If you do it well.
Yeah, of course, if you do it well. But so it's absolutely incorrect for people to say that moving is not important. Yes, in the early game, if you just stand still and get smashed by mobs, they won't kill you quickly. But that's the starting zone Kingsmouth, and it's set up that way for a reason. It's because we know that our MMO has a bit of depth to the systems and a bit of depth to creating your own deck, and we need to give people a little time to adjust to that. But absolutely do not stand still in combat. Even if you think that it's not doing anything, it absolutely is. 33% more time to live.
And that's been researched.
That's been researched and proven.
Yes.
By the Norwegian Association of Systems Combat.
Yes. I think Ragnar wanted to say something about this opening sequence.
Did I?
Yeah, you wanted to say something about Tokyo.
I think I totally forgot what I was going to say now.
Oh. Well, then that was a bummer.
But yeah, I mean, it is crucial. I mean, we've talked about Tokyo Flashback for such a long time now, and but it's still really, really important to pay attention to what's going on here. We actually did like a panel on this, like at Comic-Con in New York earlier.
Yes, we did, didn't we?
Was it earlier this year?
No, it was in October.
Oh, it was late last year, yeah.
Yeah.
And we basically talked a little bit about the background for this and why it's important. Just pay attention when you guys play this. It's gonna come back in a big way.
Why don't you just reveal the future content right now?
No, that's up to you guys. You guys are all about revealing future content. So yeah,
exactly.
that's on you guys. That's all you guys. Dave Emerson asks, how will gear be affected when raids and new zones come out? Will quality level go up?
No. Martin and I have been discussing this quite a bit, Martin being the lead designer of the game. We absolutely will not be boosting stats a lot. We might have some incremental increases, it won't be a lot. And what we'll be doing is expanding upon the horizontal nature of endgame in the Secret World, because we feel that that's the more important part for us. We always felt that, we talked about that the game needs some progression in a vertical and horizontal manner, but we really feel that once you get past that initial hump, that vertical progression in the beginning, so that you understand, you get used to the way the horizontal progression works, then we want to keep expanding the game horizontally as well. And the auxiliary weapons that we talked about will play a part in this as well.
Oh, and the beast. No, sorry.
Don't mention that.
No.
One of the other questions I have here is about whether there's planned improvements to Cabal management. We had a meeting about this last week, funnily enough, and yes, indeed, we are planning improvements to Cabals and Cabal management. You will see more on that again soon, TM.
Yeah, so as long as we get those tasks in, you and those of you who know what I'm talking about, get them done, and then we should be able to get started on it.
What are you looking at me for? I'm not doing any of that work.
I don't know.
I was just healing the Orchard security guard.
Oh, you were? Yeah. You actually bothered to heal people?
Well, not usually, no, but
No,
yeah, I
Such
got...
a gator right now.
That is not what I'm about. I'm sorry. Healer, heal thyself. That's what I say. Let's see if there are any other questions.
The gate's
She
opening.
should be doing a reader, isn't it?
I think that's bad news.
Excuse me?
Where's the F1?
Yep.
Okay.
Bad news.
F1?
Yeah, so you can
They're
heal
not
yourself.
stopping.
Yeah. It's not much point healing myself in this sequence. We try to make sure that the players don't actually die here. Oops. I did get knocked back though. Joel, do you have any more questions there coming in?
Yeah, I have, let's see. Well, there's one in the chat right there, actually, a tell message. We probably shouldn't answer that because it'll encourage people to send you tell messages.
Yes, we can't do that. We can't watch the chat while we're playing here.
But I have one from Viperson, whose mods I've been following. Good work, man. He wants to know if there'll be a shirt, suit, or whatever for people who are verified add-on developers to show off in the game. Will we make it happen? Well, Ragnar's the man to ask,
Yeah.
and while he's drunk, it's always the best time to ask him for favours.
It takes a little bit more than 1 beer to make me drunk.
Oh,
Jerry.
come on.
It takes a beer and a half.
At least admit that we had 6 whiskeys before this.
It's all
I
coming
never admit to
down.
that. I can't promise anything, but I mean, suggestions like that are always welcome. I don't know how we're gonna verify developers at this point, but if that's something community can help us with, I'll pass it on to community.
Yeah.
Community is watching and listening and commenting now, so community, you're all over that stuff.
Yeah.
If we get
But I will say, Viperson, I have seen the mods that you've already started to work on and started doing, and it's really fantastic. It's the best way to build community as well. A great team of modders, and adding improvements to the UI that people request that we just don't have time to do for everyone. So it's fantastic, and as developers, thank you very much for that effort as well.
Praise from Joel.
Praise from us all.
I've never gotten that.
Yeah, well, you rarely get praised, Doug. You just get yelled at. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
so let's get back to actually commenting on the game here.
Yeah. Well, that's
That was the plan. Not that we don't mind these questions. Feel free to also ask questions about what we're actually playing. Again, another pivotal moment in the startup sequence. What you see here is so key to the entire story of the game, not only at launch but going forward, and sort of what Sarah, this character you're playing, or that you're in the body of, is experiencing here. Yeah, I mean, I can't say too much without spoiling things, and I don't want to do that. But yeah, pay attention to everything that happens in the game. If you care about the lore and care about the story, I know a lot of you guys do. Pay close attention.
Everything is connected.
Everything is connected. There's nothing that is just sort of random or coincidental.
Nothing.
Nothing.
I'm trying to think of something.
Yeah.
Please record a Twitch TV. I have to go for a while. I'm not sure we're recording this. I'm not actually sure how that works. We are complete noobs at this.
I did see a record button actually on the drop down.
Yeah. If we're not recording it, I'm sorry. Maybe it's good that this is not saved for posterity.
Perhaps.
I have a question from Korsking555. Are you going to add in subtitles to the Dragon rank up? No. Those phone calls are not supposed to be clear and obvious what they're saying to you. So No, we won't
So,
be adding them to those
so there-
those rank up phone calls.
So there's the answer that right there.
That's the answer to that one.
No.
Find somebody who speaks Korean.
And find out what the woman's talking about. It'll be interesting.
It's not random.
No, it's not.
It is not random.
It's not random, but it's not supposed to be subtitled and obvious.
No.
I guess I would
No,
say.
but it's important.
It is important.
Oh, one little nice Easter egg is the pictures in the hallway here.
Ooh.
They're all from the team who've taken these pictures. The only one I remember is I know this is a picture taken by Simon Poole, our amazingly talented audio director. He's also British
He's also British.
and has a lovely voice.
And so does his wife.
So this is his wife, yeah. His wife actually. Oh, yeah, that's one
Yeah.
thing we didn't talk about. Oh, there's another player. Hello there.
Hello.
Because now, of course, we're out of the instance, so now we're gonna
Yeah.
get a lot of players here.
Until we get.
So this is, I mean, the woman singing here. I'm not sure if she's actually singing that song here now, but that was our first pop song. Me and Dag and Simon and some guy in London that I have absolutely no idea what his name is, collaborated on getting that pop song written. The lyrics for that are tied to, again, the dragon and one of the missions. I've received a lot of comments on that pop song, everything from horrifyingly dreadful to,
Wow.
but you know it's supposed to be quite cheesy, and that's Simon Poole's wife. Hello there.
Hello.
Who sings that. So our audio director not only is he talented himself, he has a talented family. I don't know where I was going with that. But, all right.
We've got fans
So right here we can see the one of the mute monks pointing away.
pointing.
So
He looks
I guess-
angry.
They're always angry. Who wouldn't be with their lips sewn shut?
He really just wants to tell you the directions, but he can't, and he's.
Oh, there's
that's
a
what
little
makes
lore
him-
piece. Pick up the
Lore. So lore is the lore in the Secret World is written by Joshua Dutch.
Dietz.
Yes.
Dish.
Dietz.
I had no
I
idea.
call him Dietzy.
I never used this last name. I just seen it written. And
all of
it's-
it was originally written by somebody called Nina Sund.
yeah.
We have a question from a guy called Vinterstum.
Oh.
He's asking if we could talk more about Simon's wife.
Oh, thank you for that, Øystein.
Yeah, I'm not sure that would be appropriate.
That would be the lead coder.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for dropping by. yes.
Aren't you out to lunch now?
Or supposed to be working.
Or a coder.
Working, yeah. All right, so lore. Lore, I think is really fantastic in the Secret World. I really enjoy it, and I've seen other players really enjoy it as well. And we're going to be doing a lot more with the lore. We're going to do some really exciting things
Very exciting.
without spoiling it.
I'm extremely excited.
And
Well, we're going to reveal who the voice of the lore is at some point in the.
Why are you spoiling? Just
I'm not spoiling it. That is teasing. There's
Oh,
a difference between teasing and
okay,
spoiling.
yeah.
It's like foreplay.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
No, I know. Just go straight to it. Yeah.
Damn.
But anyway, yes. So pay attention to the lore. It's important. Pay attention to what it says, and we will reward you with more information about this voice and who it is. And we're gonna be changing things up with lore as well in the future.
Definitely.
Yep.
Like this guy seems to be following us around.
He does.
that happens when you're a sexy redhead
He likes us.
on the streets of
When you
Seoul.
call it Ryan April.
Yes. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, and anyone who likes the style of the lore, and this is a shameless plug for Joshua. Joshua actually has a novel out called Strangeness in the Proportion, and I think you can download like a PDF version. You can get an ebook version online. But it's a really cool read in a similar style to our lore. So if you want to check that out, if you like the writing, go ahead.
How much is Josh paying you for this?
I don't know. Friendship, eternal friendship.
He's paying you through eternal friendship.
People who give me friendship get my love.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
good. Let's see. Any chance of a monster viewer from Belladonna? I'd love to see monsters without having to smash them. Haven't thought about it. No, we actually have a.
Scary. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
There's something
Feeling a
wrong
bit
there.
sick.
I give up.
Got a little something stuck there.
I got a little bestiary in my
Yeah.
throat.
So we're in the dojang right now, and the dojang,
Nice.
Nice segue.
Yeah, very nice.
one of the training rooms where you learn new abilities. But I'm sure everybody who listens to this has already played the game. But dojang is probably my favorite of the training routes. No, it's a complete lie. I like all of them. I really like the Crucible. It's got beautiful music.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with this. So it wasn't your favorite.
No,
No.
it's not. I can't really favorite anything
No.
because then it's just unfair.
That's true.
I don't have admin
Andrew
rights,
Casino,
so-
this.
Andrew Casino, yeah, one of the actors we use the most in the game. I think Andrew Casino has a record of the most characters in the game, and he plays 2 of the trainers.
He does, and also for those of you interested in that, he does the amazing and sincerely creepy stuff for the filth.
When you listen to the Filthy
Yeah.
Humans, yeah.
And I remember when we were doing that, because he was continuously out of breath and he looked like he was gonna keel over at any moment. But that was such an amazing effort from him right there.
We love Andrew, and we worked with him so far. I think we pulled him in 4 times or something like that.
Something like that,
yeah. Great guy, great actor. He's definitely coming back. For those of you who played in the beta, you know that we actually did some changes there. In
Made some
most
changes.
yeah, in most parts of the beta, you had to pick up these weapons from wooden tables with tiny weapons on them, and we based on player feedback, we saw that it's hard for players to really be able to interact with that. So we added these weapon crates, and they look fantastic.
I'm just going to speak Norwegian for a second, and then there's some spam i chat som ja, det må gi admin rights, så vi kan banne det. Hvis
Okay.
sitter og spammer heter, tror jeg.
Looks like we have a spammer.
A couple of spammers in chat, we're just going to go and kick them out.
how do I do
TSW, just right click, I guess.
Which one?
Yeah, that
This
guy.
one.
Maybe you can,
We can probably block him. So we're
Yeah.
banning that character guy.
and you can also, yeah.
Who
That'll
else?
do for now.
That'll do for now.
That'll do for now. Banhammer,
Okay.
yes.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's hard because we're running the game on one screen, and I have the laptop where I'm trying to follow the chat, and I don't have admin rights on here, so I can't ban anyone. But
So which weapon should we choose, guys?
I always go with fist weapons.
Let's get the community speak.
Oh,
Whoever
which
is-
weapon should we choose, guys?
I'm sure we're gonna get like all weapons listed in a big list.
Well, the first one to.
I love pistols.
Shotgun. Oh, holy Kentucky! And then there was all 9 weapons repeated endlessly by 15 people.
Exactly. Well, screw it. I'm gonna choose pistols because that is pretty much my favorite weapons. I'm a range guy. I love the and I love having modern weapons in this game. And like I think the blades are great, the hammers are great, and the magic is great. But I like having an actual firearm. Oh, I did pick it up already.
It's quite interesting. We got a lot of feedback in the beta on the way that pistols played, and so we did some adjustments to the animations to make them feel a bit more solid. And I think that people have really responded well to that. And I've seen a few questions about like, are we planning on continuing to improve combat? And the answer is absolutely yes. We are continuing to improve combat. We're still looking at how we can make it better, more interesting, more impact for players.
And I know that Øystein is working on some special magics as well that we might be seeing the results of sometime soon. So we're definitely going to be working
And
on that.
there was a very huge amount of requests in beta for a certain couple of features that we just didn't have time to do for launch. That will be coming in hopefully soon. I won't say which features they are. People can have fun speculating about that, but we will see some really cool stuff coming in on the combat front very soon.
And Ragnar just wasted the skill point there.
Support. It's important. That's why Above the Law, because I do love Above the Law. And Coup de Grade. No, we don't have any. We don't have enough.
You only have one.
Yeah, we can buy this one. All right.
Vigilante. Interestingly, the title of an unpublished game.